got a big mouth. Came out there. I talk from my heart. I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes. But my controversy probably. And it's not my fault. I'm trying to find my way in the world. You know, I'm trying to be somebody instead of just make money off everybody. You know what I'm saying? And so I go down paths that haven't been traveled before, and I usually mess up. But I learn, you know what I'm saying? I come back stronger. You know, I'm not talking ignorant, you know what I'm saying? So I obviously put thought into what I do. Your karma, everything that you do bad comes back to you. So anything that I'm doing that's bad, I'm going to have to suffer for it. But in my heart, I think what I'm doing is right. You know what I mean? And I think heaven is just, when you sleep with a good conscience. You don't have nightmares. And hell is...
What's going on, everyone? I'm so happy you decided to join me on this journey called Podcast Life. We will be discussing topics like celebrity gossip, life lesson, politics, and etc. This is a judge-free zone. Think of me as that homegirl that is so down to earth that you feel like you've been knowing for years. Remember, over here at the Boomerang Effect, the motto is never judge a book by its cover before opening it up and reading it. And remember, it's okay to agree to disagree. Just stand on what you're saying. Got it? Period. Please like, comment, share, give feedback, anything to help this podcast grow, because it is a voice for the people. So, love, peace, and unity. Mwah. What's going on, everyone? It is your girl, Queen, and this is the Boomerang Effect. Okay, let's jump right on into it. The topic today will be, is it okay to be a cheater if you encourage others to be faithful? Okay, and the reason why I brought this subject up is because an influencer, I want to say he's either like a motivation speaker, influencer, or something like that. The internet is going crazy because the simple fact is that he has been exposed for cheating on his wife and also, having multiple affairs. The person who broke the story was a YouTuber named Tasha K. I love Tasha K. Matter of fact, I listened to her, like I said, and say I got into podcasting because I was on YouTube and I was consistently listening to different type of people that I love to hear and to find out information from. And Tasha K was definitely probably, I want to say, the third or the fourth person that I was looking at almost every day. So yeah, shout out to Tasha K. Anyways, Tasha K had exposed this dude. And his name is Derek J, and he has basically made a living about being faithful, and and he's been scoring men, not scoring, but he has been basically chastising men for being unfaithful, for treating women right, and letting women know like, hey, if this man don't do this, and that, you need to let him go. You're greater, you're bigger, all this type of stuff. Positive vibes. Everything has been positive. So a lot of people were shocked to find out that he was actually a cheater. And so let's get into a couple of clips and then I will give my commentary after that.
Oh, girlfriend and boyfriend at the time. Okay, this was like maybe they were married in 2018. This video was sent to her in 2016. Do you have that video? Okay, let's go ahead and play Mr. Derek.
Candace, what's good? It's fun to come up. All right, man. Anywho, I was just thinking about you. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot to ask. What kind of drawers you got on? No, seriously, what kind of drawers you got on? Color, style, brands, all of that.
They were girlfriend and boyfriend.
Okay, that was the first clip. I don't know if you guys heard him talking. But Tasha K, that was the lady who was talking, and she was basically playing a clip of him doing a video to one of the mistress, and he was like checking up on her. But then in the audio, he was like, "What kind of drawers you got on?" He didn't ask the lady what kind of drawers you got on, and then he tried to laugh it off, and he like, "Ha ha, nah, for real, what kind of drawers you got on?" So he was serious behind that. So, anyways. the YouTuber had basically put him on blast. She even had the proof of him doing a video to the young lady and sending her a video about her underwear and wanting to be with her and stuff like that. So, of course, it hit the internet. It went crazy. So, this was his original response. Let me get into it.
All that other good stuff. Which, by the way, I'll be honest with you. I won't necessarily say I recommend. I believe I preached on it. Somebody fact check me. Whenever I've talked on this subject, my whole dialogue has been that you don't want to deal with a man who's separated because he may still have feelings for his wife. I mean, he may be lying to you. In my case, I definitely had feelings for my wife, but I thought we were over and I wasn't lying. So am I practicing what I preach? I guess so. So anyway, I sent her that text message. I blocked her on everything. In the past, what I would do is, and this is what caused a lot of issues even in my marriage, I would mostly cut somebody off. I would end communication, but I wouldn't cut it. I wouldn't completely obliterate. I wouldn't all that other good stuff. Which, by the way, I'll be
Okay, let me pause there. So if you just think about it, okay, so he was saying that he basically, he don't cut him off all the way. He tends to kind of still leave a little leeway in there, which is definitely a dumb behind decision because it's either you got one foot in the door or one foot out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, God, once you cross the line, you got to stay there. It ain't no, oh, okay, one foot in, one foot out, hokey pokey, turn yourself around. So yeah, that right there kind of stood out to me because I was just like, what do you mean? You left the communications open, but you blocked her. You said you blocked her, you deleted her and everything else. But this after you to ask for the draws. What is GTD? What is GTD, Tommy? In the words of Martin, getting the draws. So you'd asked about her draws, her underwears, and tried to check up on her and stuff like that. Now you feeling guilty and feel like you didn't cross the line. So what do? You turn around and you basically sit up here and you block and delete her. But your problem is you still keep communication open some way. Yeah, okay. So this is another clip with him talking.
Or anything like that, but we haven't rekindled anything. So at that point, what I decided was, okay, the marriage is done. But in order for me to have an opportunity to have this happiness or have this fulfillment that I'm looking for, I have to come into alignment with God. And that means even if my wife is ringing off, totally not talking to me, even if whatever, I won't even say depressed, but really in a bad space, even if whatever, in order for me to really connect with God, I got to clear some things out. So I threw away my liquor. I threw away every bit of other things that I was using. I cut off everybody, Candace included. Now, I wouldn't say I gave an explanation. All I said was this ain't right and we don't need to talk again until this divorce is final. The whole time we have been talking, I was letting her know, hey, we're separated. I'm just doing my thing. I'm chilling. I'm kicking it. All that or anything like that, but we haven't rekindled anything.
Okay, so that was him. That was his response, his first response when the stuff hit the internet. Because remind you, when Tasha K had first exposed it, he was basically denying it and was saying like, hey, it's a rumor, they're lying, blah, blah, this. But he did not know that she had something called receipts. And anybody that don't know about receipts is basically saying proof of, everything that you have been saying or doing. So when he found out and once that video had leaked with him asking about the draws and the panties and all that type of stuff, he knew that he had to come clean. So basically in that first response, he was saying that, yes, okay, bam, I busted. But at the end of the day, me and my wife were separated. So, we was going through something. And therefore, yes, I did seek outside the marriage to kind of, entertain other people. So that was his response at first, that was his first response. So of course he was getting a lot of backlash. He was getting a lot of backlash because people was very disappointed because it's like you preach about dudes being faithful. You sit up here and tell women, don't put up with a certain type of standard in a man and have standard and you are a queen and woo woo la la. But at the end of the day, a lot of people didn't even know this man was married. Now, don't get me wrong, when you're in the industry, when it comes down to like singers and rappers and, different type of influencers, they always leave that type of imagination open. Like it's something about you saying that you're married with kids that turns certain people off or your fans off. So a lot of people come out, especially if they're good looking people, they don't really just put it out there that, that they're in a relationship or nothing like that, because they know that you're going to have probably like that 30% that will not fool with you or don't really want to listen to too much you have to say, because it's kind of like, well, I was looking at you as being a potential. You have a lot of people out there that even though they know that they're not going to get with you and they don't have a chance, but it's just the fact of the fantasizing. So it's like, don't nobody want to sit up here and fantasize about somebody they feel like that is, married with kids and over there on no Brady Bunch type stuff. So he never exposed that he was even married. A lot of people didn't even know he had a wife. People didn't know he had kids or whatever. People did not know nothing. They just thought he was a young, chocolate, good-looking, handsome man that was out here trying to save, all the queens out here that has been mistreated and brutally attacked. So this was his response when he got on when he basically did an interview. Him and his wife went live, and maybe he was holding her hand like she was fit to make a run for it, or she was fit to cold cock him in his head. 2-piece in the pepper, straight to the eye and one to the head. But he was holding her hand very tight. Body language is everything. So if you guys do not see the video, please go look it up. So her body language was kind of like over it. She had on bunny in her glasses. This is the first time she has been exposed to the world as his wife. And he wanted to do it on camera to let everybody know that, hey, we've went through this. I had already told her the information. So let's go. Let's get into the clips that he said.
But a lot has been said already about what was the cause and all that other stuff. Some of it is true, some of it is completely false. But the truth is, and I'm saying it here now, is that Derrick Jackson was involved with other women outside the marriage. And by involved, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about just casually kicking it, maybe a lunch or something like that. I'm talking about as serious as sex, to sexual flirtation and meeting up and that kind of thing. And some things that otherwise may be considered okay by some, in terms of like just chatting or checking on people or being checked on by people that I've had a previous encounter with. But without my wife's knowledge of it and with us having a sexual history, all of it falls under the umbrella of inappropriate, cheating, affair, stepping out. That definitely not in alignment with the vows that I took, and definitely not in alignment with the biblical standard of what it means to be faithful, which is the standard that I'm going by now. Now, I'm saying this publicly, not because I'm, married to you guys, first and foremost, but, a lot has been said already about what first and foremost I'm accountable to God. Then I have to be accountable to my wife, in which we've already had this conversation. I've already told her literally everything. I've given her basically a roll call list. If I've said hello to a woman in the last 12 years of me knowing her, she knows about it. But now that it's been made so public, it's important that I first off let you guys know I do not stand by those actions. I don't want to encourage anybody to do that. And then secondly, I know that I cannot build a platform preaching certain things, preaching against certain things. First and foremost, I'm accountable to God. Then I have to preaching certain things, preaching against certain things. And then in my real life, live contrary to that for any amount of time or any length of time to any extent, and think that I can't be held accountable. The same way that I preach, men and women in this situation need to face consequences of their actions, deserve to be held accountable. Guess what? Derrick Jackson's no exemption. Preaching certain things, preaching against certain.
Okay, so that was his response that he did with his wife standing by his side. He basically was owning up to the fact that he cheated. Him and her knew about it. Like they were saying, like, oh, we knew about it. Went through that. I already told her everything. Woo, woo, la la. So basically, it is what it is. If you're gonna support me, you're gonna support me. If you're not, I understand also. So therefore, I'm just letting y'all know that my wife did know, and we have already worked through it. Okay, so see, I'm gonna basically freestyle this whole podcast because I've really been putting it off. But nevertheless, I would love to hear people's opinion about the situation. Is it okay, I'm saying, to trust a person, or would you guys still support a person that live one way or the other? You see what I'm saying? Like if they preach a certain type of thing, they basically they're not acting as what they preach out or put out there, which you guys still support because he has books. He has been doing speakings around the world. This man has made money off the fact of his image and his character. So now that you have been exposed for the total opposite, do you still support this person and invest in them and basically, you know what I'm saying, believe everything they're saying? Now, my outlook on the situation, because it was funny to me because a lot of people was not looking at the fact of they was steady going about the wife, because of course throughout the whole time that he was talking it was mostly him, and and she basically came towards the end and said what she had to say. And a lot of people, this is what I'm saying about distraction, because people looked at that and they looking at this man confess and he's standing right here next to his wife, but then some way somehow people flipped it and then they made a mockery of her. You see what I'm saying? Now, remind you, she's not even a person who has been in the spotlight. She's not even the person that basically, you know what I'm saying, cheated. She have not done nothing wrong but stand by this man's side since the beginning. I even looked into it. It's not even like that. They just got together a couple of years ago. This woman has been with him since college. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, she has a natural body. You know what I'm saying? She don't have makeup. She did not have no makeup on. She had glasses. She looked like Mara, Steve Urkel, off of Steve Urkel, the sister. And people clowned her. You see what I'm saying? Now, remind you, her husband, somebody she committed to, has been sleeping around. But and then, like I said, per se, in one breath, he's preaching to the world and preaching to all these single women out there to hold yourself accountable. You know what I'm saying? You are worth more. Don't stand by someone who does this, and that. And she has to sit over here and forgive him for what he's doing behind closed doors. But people still find a way to make her look a fool. Oh, she look a mess. If I look like that, or no, a lot of people was feeling like the way she looked was the reason for why he was cheating. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So once again, as women, because like I always feel like the black woman, and Malcolm X say, is always unprotected in some way. We always have to have a demeanor that we're so strong, we're so powerful, we can't show no type of emotion. It's like they don't give black women a break. And in the month of March, where we celebrate women, you want to be a damn fool? Come on, somebody. So I was very disturbed on that because it was like nobody was holding him accountable for what he was doing. They basically turned it on the wife and sit up here and said that, well, the way she looks, you know what I'm saying? Look at the way she looked. Look how the way she came out there on live and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the reason why. No wonder why he cheated and stuff like that. First of all, let me tell y'all something. Some of y'all out here getting cheated on. Your husband, you know what I'm saying? You can sit up here and be married to your husband, and your husband sitting out here cheating on you with Shaniqua around the corner with 5 kids, you know what I'm saying? Living on Section 8 and got a cash car and with no job. And that's no shade for somebody that's out there with their name and that type of, you know what I'm saying, background. But I'm just putting it in perspective of you cannot blame the other woman. You have to hold your man, your husband, your spouse accountable. You see what I'm saying? Because clearly it was something about this person that made him cheat. Can nobody break up a so-called happy home? Can't nobody break up a happy home. So at the end of the day, while y'all sitting over here nitpicking her about how she looked plain Jane and she, you know what I'm saying, the way she looked and the way she carried herself is the reason why he cheated. Well, why was the reason? Is that the same reason why he married her? They've been together since, you know what I'm saying, college years. It's something that is making him stick around that felt like that she was more worthy to be his wife. You see what I'm saying? And then it was crazy because a lot of people was like, oh my God, look at her body. Like her body language was off. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I'm not finna sit up on, no live and let's just keep it real. Now, let me play devil advocate. Now, girl, now you already know, you know what I'm saying, you was getting on live with every woman in front of millions that probably have fantasized about your husband, whatever. It was nothing for you to take off the button. Come on now. I don't even like when people wear buttons out in the public. But you on live with a button, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand that at the end of the day, it's called self-care. self-care, self-love. So regardless of the fact, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got to do it to show off for him or the people. You ought to sit up here and let it be known, like, it's pressure behind me. You see what I'm saying? But still, nevertheless, she was a beautiful lady. I could tell she was very soft-spoken and everything. And she did look like she was hurt, and she did not want that to be her introduction into the world. And it is very sad, because for us not to even know you're married, and then the first time you want to put your wife on camera is basically by her standing by your side because you was exposed for cheating. And then you up here, I told her everything. I told her from every text message, every look, and if I even looked at you, I told her about it. But at the end of the day, do you think that that was fair for her to stand by your side, and this is the way you introduce her to the world, whether she did stick by your side or not? So shout out to that queen, because you know what I'm saying, it does take a strong woman to do that. And do I feel like she was held up against her will? No. Do I feel like she was manipulated? No. A lot of y'all take Lil Pookie back, and he done cheated, lied, and stole. And y'all still sit up here and take a back. Y'all get on social media, y'all claim y'all baby daddies, y'all sit up here and degrade them, and then next thing you know, we see y'all around the corner somewhere, and he driving your car, and he dropping you off like Yvette and Jody off a baby boy. So who is we to sit up here and judge her and sit up here and say she a fool for standing by this man's side when you need to sweep around your own front door? So that situation, yeah, I was kind of disturbed. Next situation, it was just the simple fact is that this is what I'm saying when it comes down to people idolizing people. You know what I'm saying? You can never idolize people. And him and Kevin Samuels remind me of each other. You see what I'm saying? You have Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels is next. He's going to get exposed on some stuff too with his ex-wife and daughter and stuff like that. But you got Kevin Samuels, the one that go in on the women and basically let them know, like, you ain't no better, you this, you that. So, you know, the men's love Kevin, you know what I'm saying? Because they feel like, yeah, put her in her place. Let these women know these gold digging, snatching women. And then you have Derek that is the opposite. It's kind of like he's up there like, hey, leave that man if he doing this and do that. And now look, both of them are being exposed. You see what I'm saying? For not practicing what they're preaching. And then you guys, are they still gonna have followers? Yes. You're still gonna have people to make excuses. You're still gonna have people that sit up here and feel like it's a reason why they did that. Like, oh nah, they just didn't cheat because they wanted to. It's a reason. It's more to the story. Instead of just accepting the fact that no one is perfect, instead of sitting up here accepting the fact of stop always listening or accepting what a person says and looking at it like golden. Even with Kevin Samuel, why in the hell is y'all calling in to this man and y'all not even checking out his background? I just thought that was very weird when people was calling in and he degrading them or saying different type of stuff. Some of it was true, I ain't gonna lie. But then some of it was just straight up just BS. But at the end of the day, you had people calling in looking for validation. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, these people are that just caught up into another person's opinion. And that's crazy. Same way with Derek. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, you know, a lot of men was upset because they feel like you cock blocking. Cock blocking is another form of hating or, you know what I'm saying, trying to get in good with the women and you downgrading men. So it's kind of like, even with Derek J, it's like, how are you sitting up here telling us that we're black queens and we're wonderful and we're beautiful inside and out and don't put up with this and don't put up with that. And you're not even faithful to someone that is living in your household. You sitting up here asking about getting the draws. What kind of panties somebody got on? You think that that was very respectable of you? You know what I'm saying? Like, not trying to be funny. How do you guys feel about that? Would you still support somebody or would you even take their advice if you feel like that they was a hypocrite in the process of, you know, their journey and what they put out there? Yes, he did give a lot of good advice. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to discredit the man and say he did not give no good advice. But the simple fact is that for you to sit up here and put that out there and you do not cherish the queen that you had committed to and you took vows for, like, I tell people this all the time. If a person is married or have kids or whatever the situation or what or the other, if they're not loyal, you know what I'm saying, to that, if they're not faithful to that situation, what makes you think that they're going to be faithful to the situation or be loyal to you? I don't trust it. You see what I'm saying? I would never trust it. You see what I'm saying? Because they'll sit up here and go home every night to this person and look them in their eyes. But at the end of the day, they're lusting for someone else. It's okay to look. It's okay to sit over here and fantasize or have a crush or, you know what I'm saying, or something spark your interest in somebody else. That's fine. Like he said up here and said, they were separated. You see what I'm saying? They separated. They're going through their own personal issues. So, of course, he probably felt lonely and stuff like that, and he needs that attention. And I'm not trying to bash for a lot of men, but a lot of men are not cheating to just have sexual affairs. Like you said, like, and I know a lot of women probably like, but nah, cheating is cheating. But a lot of men love the simple fact of someone paying them attention, and you know what I'm saying, and looking in them in a way that it's not judgmental. You see what I'm saying? Like a simple smile, a simple, oh, you look nice today, a simple, encouraging that man, you know what I'm saying? That goes a long way. That's all they want. They want the conversation without you nagging, complaining, and you know what I'm saying, and why me? And you always, you don't want to fix yourself up, because it reminds you it was something that was in you that he was so attracted to that he made you yours. So, ladies, we do have to make for sure we maintain that. Don't get too comfortable, because, like I said, say, your position can be taken away. A lot of these men stay with their wives because at the end of the day, it is a loyalty thing, and they do love them. They just hate the fact and the route that they have went. I have known men to sit up here and be like, I love her, I care about her, but she let herself go. You see what I'm saying? Like, she don't want to do this, she don't want to do that. It's the things that kept him or had him attracted to you. You feel like you don't have to do that anymore because you're married, you have kids. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I know he ain't gonna leave me. He's such a good man. So it's like we have to take accountability too, and be mindful that, you know what I'm saying, it's the little things that matter. You sit over here speaking life into this man or this woman and letting them know that you're beautiful, you know what I'm saying, you're wonderful, you know what I'm saying, how's your day going? A simple card, a simple flowers. Even when it comes down to a man, you know what I'm saying, you sitting over here making a good home cooked meal, listening to his problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey babe, how was your day? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk. You see what I'm saying? Like, rub his back. You see what I'm saying? Like, just do something that's so small. Make him lunch. Leave something in his notebook. It's the smallest, simplest thing to make a person feel appreciated that can go a long way. So therefore, they won't be yearning for that in someone that does it on the street. You see what I'm saying? Or somebody that randomly, you know what I'm saying, just be like, hey, how was your day? I can sit up here and tell somebody, oh, hey, how was your day? And I can ask them that every time. And for some reason, that little small gesture turns them on. And now they're attracted to me because they like, wow, all these people that I help, you know what I'm saying, and I love and I protect and I provide for, nobody never asks me, how was my day? How do I feel? So, yeah, it's a lot of mental that comes behind it. So I don't feel like that every dude that cheats it's because of sexual, or he just, he not saying he's attracted to the person, but at the end of the day, it's sometimes more mental than physical. So, so that kind of sums up this podcast, because I don't want to go over time. But yes, please like, share, comment. Let me know. Leave a message. Let me know, how do you feel about the situation? Would you still support a dude there was a motivation speaker that basically put it out there that, black men don't cheat. He even had a shirt that said, black men don't cheat, the audacity. But how do you feel? Would you still support him? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like, hey, you know what I'm saying, give him another chance? People make mistakes. Or do you feel like that he should definitely, you know what I'm saying, be banned? He should be canceled, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, everything you said was a lie because you did not practice what you preach. Do we give him a chance, or do we just, kick him to the curb? So yes, please like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to me. I love you so much. Mwah.